Zach, so one thing I really admire about you from watching your content and listening to you on podcasts is the fact that you are so authentic and really comfortable in your own skin. Why are you like that?
Funny you say that because I wasn't like that a couple years ago. Taking a lot of work, but short answer is I basically worked on myself every single day for the past 3 years. Little background story so you guys all understand this. I believe that statement to be true that I am very confident in my own skin. But when I was in middle school, we're going to say about put it 7 years ago, I was not comfortable at all. I was probably one of the shyest people that I know, extremely unconfident in myself and my skin and anything that I had to say. So when people would ask me questions, I wouldn't necessarily answer. I'd wait for someone else to answer because I wanted to be exactly like them. I was afraid what people are going to think of me. I was afraid of how I looked myself. So I always knew that there was a stronger thing inside of me calling out of this isn't how life is supposed to be. Because understand something, I was basically the shortest one in my grade. I had the highest voice in my grade, and I was like a mommy and daddy's boy, right? Always go home, never wanted to be out, and it was horrible. It was just really, really bad. I never felt like I fit into any group specifically at all. Felt like I was an outcast basically, but I had a twin sister, so she was basically in the cool group, right? So I had the ability to access this cool group of people whenever I wanted to. But there was one day where I went on YouTube and I can literally remember the video. It was a video of Arlen Moore traveling to Italy, and they were out of college. They left college, and they're traveling, and they're meeting all these cool people, and they're making all this money. And for some reason, in my mind, I just said to myself, "This isn't how life should be. Like, I shouldn't be sweating and turning completely red when I'm talking to people. That's not how life is supposed to be." So from that day moving forward, I would put myself in the most uncomfortable positions I possibly could every single day. I'm telling you right now, I'm even feeling it again. It's almost like if someone starts to go up, if like a guy starts to go up to a girl and he's never done it, and he starts to talk to her, all the things in his head are going to say, she's not going to like me. She's not going to want to talk to me. I'm a little nervous. What do I say? Same thing when you're going to sell someone the first time you do it. Like in anything, you have all these limiting thoughts. But every single day I did it over and over to the point where it was kind of like a game to me, right? Like I'm not doing it. I'm not going up to these people to try and get a reaction from them or try and get their number or something, right? It was just, I want to do it over and over so I get comfortable within myself. And after a short amount of time of doing that at school, I started to get comfortable in myself. I didn't really care what people thought of me because I was on my own mission. I was doing what I love to do. And where this really took off was when my dad and I started going to these business events, and he basically goes, "Okay, this is it. Go." And my face, I'm like, "Wait, what? What?" Because I thought he was going to come with me and like introduce me to people. So from that day forward, whenever we went to these business events, it was me talking to people who were 10, 20 years senior of my age. But I began to understand how to shake someone's hand, how to talk to them, how to continue a conversation. And I got so in depth with who I was, what I actually liked, what I actually didn't like to do, and what my mission was in life that I just worked on myself every single day. And I got to the point where I was confident in what I wanted to do, who I liked to be around, whether people liked it or not. And through the constant evolution of doing that day in and day out, I got extremely confident in my own skin, who I was around, and what I actually like to do.
Yeah, I love that, man. And I can totally relate to what you're talking about. Like you were middle school, and whenever you're about to speak, you kind of waited for someone else to say something. Like I was literally the exact way. I had zero confidence in myself. And if I'm being honest, like my self-esteem was so bad that I couldn't even look myself in the mirror. And what you did really helped me as well, like just putting myself in the most uncomfortable situations and kind of like Alex Hormozy says, giving yourself so much proof that you just have to be confident. And it's funny that you talk about the fact that you were talking to these people and trying to put yourself in uncomfortable situations, not for them, but for yourself. I did that exact thing as well with like talking to girls. Like I used to be so scared of approaching a girl in public. But then once I flipped my mindset from like I want to go up to her to try and make her like me and try and go on a date with her to I'm gonna go up to her and talk to her to just feel good about myself and like do something scary. It became so much easier because I became like a lot more detached from the outcome.
100%. I think something that's really important for people to understand, which it took me a while to do this as well, but once I did this, everything changed for me, is de-pedestalizing, devaluing in a way. Because when I was going up to talk to these people, I would constantly see them as I'm here and they're here. So it's almost like when you see a movie star or a celebrity out in public, right? You're like, oh my God, that's them. Can I get a picture with them? Like, oh my God, I don't even know what to say. They're here and you're here. If you're able to then take the value out and make it either level or almost as if you're above, then it's not really an issue anymore, or at least it wasn't to me. So when I saw, and again, by the way, I literally could not talk. If we're like talking about girls, I could not
Yeah.
even open my mouth or even look at a girl that was, I thought in my eyes, extremely beautiful. Because I'm like, there's no way that she's ever going to talk to me at all. Like I was that low. And then the minute that I started saying, I actually started saying this to myself, which is kind of funny looking back. I go, I can only talk to beautiful women. Like I can only do that. Like
Yeah.
that's it. Like I have to go up. I started almost hypnotizing myself to believe this stuff, and it actually worked. So to the point now where I'll go up to a random person, and it's almost like I know you for 5 years, right? We've been talking for 5 years. Whether they do or they don't, it's just that instant connection of, hey, I know you for 5 years. Find commonality, start talking with people. And as long as you're confident within yourself in who you are and you know your value, things just seem to fall into place.
Totally, man. Totally. And it really is just a perspective shift and shifting your mindset rather than doing any specific action. Even though, like, taking action is great, putting yourself out there, trying to talk to as many people as possible, that helps so much. It all starts in your head because it's like your thoughts create your actions.
100%.
Yeah, for sure. So you mentioned that when you were younger, when you were in high school, playing soccer was kind of like your escape. Could you go a bit deeper into that?
Yeah, absolutely. So soccer was definitely the escape. We all have our escapes, whether it's playing football, playing a sport, or a video game, whatever it is. We all have our escape. My escape from those days was soccer, because that was one of the only sports that I actually liked playing and that I was actually pretty good at my age for. I played club and I also played soccer for my school. So it was really an escape because whenever I would play soccer, the only thing I could focus on was that ball, was scoring that goal. Who am I going to pass to? What move am I going to make? And it's almost like meditation in a way where I just got so focused on what I was doing in that moment. All my problems released, all my problems went away. And along with that, it was also fitness. So I was also running. I was clearing my mind. I was getting all my hormones in check, spiking all my hormones, fight or flight, right? Where you can only focus on that ball, on scoring that goal, on that perfect pass, on that perfect touch to receive it. So all the things that happened during the day of, does this person like me, right? The limiting thoughts. Does this person like me? I don't want to go to school. I'm afraid what people are going to think. I don't want to get a bad grade. Like all this stuff that would happen to me. As soon as I hit that field, my mind just cleared. And because of that, I fell in love with soccer and I began to play it more and more and more to the point where at that age, like I said before, I was probably one of the best people on my team. So that's one of the reasons why I call soccer my escape, because it's something that I love to do. And versus the whole entire day of trying to get away from reality, this was my reality. This is what I really could focus on and dive into.
Yeah, it's super important for anybody to have something like that in their lives, whether it's like a sport, a business, or whatever. How do you think somebody who's listening to this can find something that can be their escape that they are just obsessed with?
Yeah, I mean, if you're around the age of 20, I mean, you've probably done a lot of things in your life so far. I would basically say pick something that you have seen that you're very, very interested in. Like, actually have a lot of passion about that. You could do it 24/7 without doing anything else, without thinking about anyone else. For example, my thing was soccer in the beginning. I love to play soccer. Like, absolutely love to play soccer. Then it switched to surfing. When I'm surfing, I could be out there for 6 hours, not eat a single meal, not talk to any single person, and just be doing that 24/7, and I love it. Someone that could be playing video games or even going out and making business deals. But whatever you can do, whatever you've done in your childhood, I would say, because that's usually what happens, is anything that you do in your childhood it comes to present day, dive into something like that. Or if you're passionate about real estate, if you're passionate about crypto, something like that, just dive in really, really deep. It's something, again, like I said, that you have a passion for, that you're extremely interested in, and you'll know because, at least for me, everything will go quiet, everything will go bliss, and it's almost like tunnel vision that you have.
Yeah, totally. So, what do you think is a common piece of like life advice, business advice, or just like advice in general that you hear a lot of people give, or maybe someone's even given you that you disagree with?
Ooh, that's good. Disagree with. Interesting. Yeah. Okay. I have two. The first one is balance in life. A lot of people will probably disagree with this, but
Yeah,
let me explain myself.
I definitely agree.
I don't think life is about the balance that you have. There's two types of people in this world that I believe. There's the go-getters and like the absolute beasts. Jeff Bezos, Elon Musk, like all these people who trailblazers, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Ronaldo, Messi, like all these people who that you think of, right? And then there's everyone else in life. And they're on their own life. They're, what do you want to call them? Average, ordinary, just regular types of people. Those people would believe in balance. And I get it because they have a specific certain life. But for me, I believe in presence, not balance. I
Right.
believe in if I'm going to do something, I want to be fully present in that moment. To be honest with you, I don't believe that there's balance with work life and family life and all these other things. I think for someone like me, I'm an animal. I don't care what day it is. I just want to work, work, work because I love what I'm doing. But when I'm working, I'm fully present in working. 100% of my attention is in working. When I'm with my family, 100% of my presence and attention is with them. They get that. If it's not like that, then they're going to resent me working all the time and start to create a void. Versus, like I said, if I'm 100% present in that time, they see that I'm working my ass off, but when I'm with them, it's all about them. I'm showing up for them. So that's one thing. I don't think it's balance. I think it's presence. Because if you have balance in your life, I don't think you're going to be able to achieve the levels of success or achieve the goals that you want to have. I believe if you want to achieve an extraordinary life, you have to be willing to go all in, go through the fire that most people aren't even willing to go through the pain that most people aren't willing to go through. And that takes all your energy, all your effort. Kobe Bryant even talked about that on a lot of his podcasts where he was basically saying, I left so much time away from my family to focus on basketball, to become the best basketball player in the world, right? And yet messed up some of the time that I have with my family. But once I was able to do that in basketball, I was able to switch my attention onto my family. Presence versus balance. And the second thing is money. So you hear a lot of people say that money isn't everything and money doesn't buy happiness, money isn't happiness. Partially agree with that. Partially don't. The reason why is because money, goals, material things should not be what gives you happiness in life, I believe. Happiness should come from within yourself. Joy should come from within yourself. Fulfillment should come within yourself. Leave money out of it. Like, money should have nothing to do with that. However, it's a basic fact that you need money to live. You need money to have a house, to have an apartment, to buy food, clothes, bedding, like the bare necessities. You need money. The more money you have, I believe, the more impact you were able to make into this world, and the more that you're able to give back, the more that you're able to provide for your family, create financial freedom. So for me, I think it is very important to have wealth, to have money in your life, because it opens up different areas to meet different people, to experience different things. And for me, that's the whole thing about life, is experiences and connections. If I'm able to amass a great amount of wealth, it's number one, because I fixed a huge problem and helped out a lot of people. Number two, I'm going to be able to take that wealth and to create experiences for myself and my family and my friends that we wouldn't have had elsewhere. However, again, that joy, that fulfillment, that happiness isn't going to come from that. It's going to come from something deeper. For me, Bible, prayer, God, Jesus, higher power. It's going to come from that. So I think those are two things that I disagree with in a certain way.
Yeah, man, and what you said really reminds me of something that one of my friends always says. He says, you're either making progress or you're making memories. Like you're working super hard or you're enjoying yourself, being present with people you love. So, what you just said, leads me to a question that I've been really wanting to ask you. What is your definition of success?
That's a really good question.
Thank you. Because, like, the media and people around us, they make it seem like success is money. Success is like having a fancy car, a nice house, and they paint this like, exact picture of what success looks like, even though I think it's something that we define for ourselves. We don't let other people define it for us.
100%. Piggybacking off of that, what you just said, to me, success would be at the end of my life, sitting in my bed, about to die,
Yeah.
I would be able to say that I was able to achieve all that I should have achieved. I was able to achieve all that God would want me to achieve, do all the things that I'm supposed to be and become that person, evolve into that person that I should have been at the end of my life. If I'm able to do that, be able to say that at the end of my life, that to me is success. That to me is mission accomplished.
That's awesome. What do you think you'd have to do to think that while you're on your deathbed?
There's a lot. There's a lot, but
Yeah.
that's good. It's good that there's a lot. Couple things. One, I have the goal of equipping billions of people around the world with the knowledge that they need to live a healthy and powerful life. So being able to create a brand and a community that has billions of people, almost like Tony Robbins type stuff, Gary Brecka type stuff, creating a community that's so impactful that it's worldwide. That's number one. Number two also is I want to be able to set my family up, my parents and also my sisters, my kids, and my kids' kids up for success in their own life. So creating a massive amount of wealth for them moving into the future so they're set. I also have one of my sisters has special needs. So one of the things that pushes me on a daily basis is the fact of when my parents are actually not here, I'm going to be the one that has to take care of her. And I'm going to want to. But I want to make sure that she has everything that she needs, everything that she wants to live a beautiful life. That's one of the things that wakes me up every single day and pushes me. So being able to have that in place is definitely on the checklist. And then the last thing I'm going to say is, you ever see when people are in public, right? And someone comes up to them and they're like, thank you so much. You changed my life. Having that effect would be something absolutely amazing at the end of my life. Being able to see all the people that I've helped in their lives get healthy, develop their mindset, live an actual powerful and healthy life. Yeah, that's something heavy. And also to add on to this, a note is that I say all this stuff right now of like what that would look like as a successful life. In 5 years, that might change. In 10 years, that might change. I don't really know definitely what that looks like for me, what that plan is in store for me. Because again, it's different for everyone, but to me, only God knows. Only the universe knows what that means for me. Because a quick example of that is Dwayne Johnson. He wanted to play football professionally. He had an injury which couldn't allow him to do that. He thought that that was what success would be for him. And it switched entirely to now he's an actor. He's doing what he's doing, which is what he should have been doing in the beginning, right? And he's able to impact all these people's lives. But it was a shift that he didn't even know. So again, I'm saying all this stuff. 5 years, it could change. And the same for you and same for anyone who's listening.
So true. Yeah, I've never thought about that, but that's such a good point. So you said that you want to help people live a more healthy and a powerful life. What does that look like exactly?
Yeah, so I had a spinal surgery about 3 years ago, and it destroyed me. It took away all my muscle, all my confidence, like everything that I built up over those past 3-4 years, right? Putting myself in those uncomfortable positions. And then what I shortly realized was I kept on having all these headaches and these stomach issues, and I kept on taking all these pills, all this medication. And I thought that it was normal. And then I went to one of the events that I go to, and they started talking about all these natural ingredients, all these things that are natural in life, right? Spring water, avocados, healthy fruit, healthy protein. And I got very, very interested in it. So I started going down the rabbit hole, and I realized that a lot of the things that we consume on a daily basis are toxic for us. Toxicity creates inflammation. Inflammation over a long time creates disease. Then we start taking these medications from doctors, and it's not helping. It's more so numbing, if not creating an even worse effect. Then we have to go to these hospitals and pay to get treatment, and next thing you know, hospitals are filled with patients more money. Then it's the whole scam with all these medical companies with the pills paying the media to promote this, to promote that. It's I'm not going to get into it right now. We could if you wanted to, but it's a
Yeah,
whole,
I'd love to.
it's just a whole downward spiral. The whole thing, though, is getting clean. So I
Yeah.
have a cold plunge right up there. So every morning I'll
Yeah.
do a cold plunge. I'll do a sauna every once in a while, go for IV therapies, try and eat as clean as possible. I have my water right here. And the whole thing is eradicating inflammation from the body, getting as healthy and clean as possible, eating things that are literally almost directly from the soil and have not been touched by other chemicals and other things. This is what I want to be able to share with other people, such as what Red 40 is, carcinogens, and methylcobalamin versus cyanocobalamin, which is the different things in your energy drinks. Methylcobalamin is natural form from nature. Cyanocobalamin is synthetic. Some people say that it has sewage in it. When you go look up on the internet what cyanocobalamin is made from, you'll see that it has all these different chemicals coming together. And then in the end, it creates a toxicity. So there's a single chemical in that form that's very, very toxic. And we eat it on a daily basis. We drink it when we have these energy drinks, and we even have it in some of the vitamins that we give to our children. So all of this is making us feel like crap. My whole thing is being able to understand what's in our foods, with what we're putting in our bodies, and to take that out, eradicate that from our bodies so we can feel absolutely amazing. You're not supposed to have low energy during the day. You're supposed to be thriving, feeling like a king, like a freaking queen that you are. What do you need to do on a daily basis? What routines, what habits? What do you need to be consuming into your body to feel like that? And I want to be able to show people that exact formula, that exact routine that I have and that many other people are living. Because if you look at Canada, for example, or Europe, for example, why do so many people go to Europe and say, I had pasta 5 days during the week and I felt absolutely amazing. I didn't feel bloated at all. I had energy to even walk, right? Why? Why is that happening? Why can I eat candy and sweets in Europe, in Italy, in Greece? Why can't I go to Canada and they have all these regulations and all these warning signs on their bottles and stuff, and nothing is like that in America? Nothing at all. Being able to become more aware of this and know what you're putting into your actual body is something that I have a true calling and passion for and desire in, because there's nothing more that I hate in this world than seeing people eating and drinking toxic shit that they don't even know that they're putting into their bodies, and then they wonder why they feel so lethargic, why they start gaining weight, why they start having these anxiety and depression and all these other issues, and then they start taking these pills. It's because of these simple things that you need to learn, that you need to become aware of. And when you're able to do that, truly, I believe you're able to live a powerful and healthy life. And if you want an example, go look at Gary Brecka. Go look at Dana White, what they did together. Go look at Grant Cardone. Go look at Steve Harvey. Go look at Stephen A. Smith. All these people have followed this exact routine, have followed these principles, and they're in their 60s right now. They look better than me, like ripped, more energy than me.
They look great.
It's crazy. So that's basically understanding everything that we're putting into our body, understanding how the system works, how the quote-unquote scam works, what they're trying to do and why they're trying to do it is something that I have a deep calling, and that's why I started Monaco Events, to basically share it with people and just to become more aware.
That stuff is so interesting. Like, it's so important for every single person in this world to learn, but I think what sucks is that the media and all of the mainstream health information isn't telling you that kind of stuff. It's trying to hide it from you. So how have you been able to learn more about this and just gain awareness about all of these problems with foods and like how you can fix them?
Yeah, so a lot of it has to do with, one, like I said, becoming aware of everything. There's only a certain amount of people that are actually talking about this. It's becoming more and more people as time goes on, but I started following people like Gary Brecka. I started following people like Paul Saladino, also Solbra online, that these people are actually talking about what's in people's foods, what you're eating and what you're drinking. And I took it upon myself to go down the rabbit hole and to learn about these things. And am I done? Not even close. There's so much more. But I basically did personal research for myself of what I'm eating. For example, I used to eat cereal, right? I used to eat Fruit Loops. I used to eat Lucky Charms. I used to eat all this other shit. And then I realized they have Red 40 in it. And then I realized from Gary Brecka, they're all enriched, fortified. Sounds pretty nice, right? Like, enriched, I'm pretty cool. I'm feeling good, right? And then you realize that none of that shit's true. It's sprayed. It's got toxic chemicals in it. Why does it have such a long shelf life? Because there's chemicals in it. Why do I eat this food and feel like shit afterward? Okay, interesting. Let me go look up what that actually means. For example, in America, in New York specifically, I used to eat a lot of carbs, like a lot of carbs. I was a pasta guy, a bread guy, because I'm Italian too. How you doing, Italians, we like to eat a lot of pasta and the cheese and stuff. And I kept on feeling so lethargic and so tired. And I'm like, why is this happening? Why do I feel like I'm bloating? Why do I just have low energy? And then I started to realize what they put in our actual bread, what they actually use bread for. When you go out to a restaurant, they give you bread, then they give you alcohol. When you eat the bread, you start to begin to feel low energy, right? You're like, oh, relax. Then you order the drink, and you're like, oh, I guess we could order more food, more dessert. And it's almost basically that they're brainwashing you or subduing your mind, your brain, into ordering more things, into being more enticed with the food. So I basically cut almost all carbs out of my diet, almost all cereals. And it's kind of funny, once I began to realize this, again, self-education, learning this for myself, looking stuff up, I cut out like 80% of the foods that I used to eat. And I feel amazing. Feel absolutely amazing from it. But I cut out about 80% of the foods that I used to eat, that I see people eating on a daily basis, and I've been feeling amazing. But it all goes back into following certain people. Look up whoever you want to look up. Make sure they're credible, but you can look them up on YouTube, on Google, TikTok, Instagram, whoever it is. Follow people who are along the lines of Gary Brecka, Paul Solbra, like these guys, who are actually showing you what you're eating, what foods have in it, and take the dive into your own self. Because I can tell you one thing: people who are big corporations and people like this are not going to be sharing any of that at all. You have to really do the research for yourself, learn from other people, and then literally, like I did, grab something that you're eating, grab something that you're drinking, look it up. Look, what does this have in it? Okay, now you know the ingredients. What is this ingredient made from? How is this made? And you just go down the rabbit hole.
Could you give me some examples of like changes you've made in your diet or your lifestyle to improve your health on a daily basis?
Yeah, 100%. So in the mornings, what I do, I used to wake up. I'll give you a before and after. In the mornings, I used to wake up, and I used to go on my phone, stay in my bed, hit snooze. Instantaneously, that made my day into complete shit. Like literally. I would tell these people what they were doing, what they were traveling. Oh my God, I would read my messages. I might get some good messages, then I get a message that kind of put me down into a mood. Someone said something to me, someone reminded me something that I wasn't looking forward to, done. Then I'd get changed, I'd spend all this time listening to music, blah, blah, blah. Then I'd go to work, do whatever I was doing, just not in a good mood. Then I switched it up. So in the mornings, what I do now is I'll wake up, make sure that I don't have my phone near me. I'll wake up instantaneously, definitely try not to snooze. Go downstairs, grab a full bottle of water, drink it with a little salt. What that does is it hydrates me. So now, I used to get headaches in the morning. Those stopped. Because now I hydrate myself in the morning. So I'm like, oh, I feel good now. I feel hydrated. Then what I do is I'll go back. I'll do a prayer or read the Bible as well. And that gets me grounded in my day. So I feel good. I feel like I actually learned something. Now I'll do my breathing, my Wim Hof. I provide my body with as much oxygen as possible so I feel alive. If you ever wake up, if you ever pinch someone or you get pinched when you're sleeping, you wake up and you're like, what the F was that? Why would you ever do that? Like you're aggravated because you don't have high levels of oxygen in your body, in your brain. So when you do Wim Hof, you're able to bring that oxygen level up. You're able to feel literally absolutely amazing. Like this sense of calm times energy as well. Feel amazing. And then what I do is I go into my cold plunge. And that sucks. But it does two things. It helps me with discipline to calm my mind and get centered, but it also lights me up. I call it like my morning cocaine, although I don't do any drugs. It like lights you up. I swear to God. You get out of it, you feel amazing. You're like, yeah, let's go. I'm ready. So then moving forward, I'll go and I'll write some of my goals down. Basically, the whole entire routine that I have for the morning is getting myself in the right state and the right energy to go out and conquer it throughout the day, no matter what it is. Because if you're able to bring that energy that you just created in the morning out throughout the day, other people are going to feel that energy. They're going to want to gravitate toward you. They're going to want to be around you, learn from you as well. And then moving into the day, I'll eat a healthy breakfast, couple eggs, avocados, blueberries as well. Nothing, no commercial shit, no ingredients that is like high fructose corn syrup out of my diet.
Yeah.
Enriched flour, fortified foods out of my diet. So I'm only trying to eat the most quality, clean foods as possible. For example, I used to have energy drinks. I used to have Celsius. I used to have Gatorade. Gatorade has Red 40 in it. Carcinogens. Celsius has methylcobalamin. Carcinogen. Bad. Toxic. Shit for you. So I took all these things out of my diet, and now what I do is I either eat fully clean or I'll fast during the day. And what that does is if I fast, I'm not having to process all the foods that are in my body now. I'm able to put my energy into the work that I'm doing and get locked in. To be honest with you, most of the time when I do fast, I'll get hungry, but it's a good hungry. It's like, okay, I gotta work more. I gotta work faster. Like I gotta tune the hell in, get dialed so that I can eat later. And all I can focus on is that work. However, if I do eat, I'm trying to eat as clean as possible so my body doesn't have to use as much energy to break down all the foods for the nutrients that it will pull out of it. And then moving on throughout the day, I'll do a workout in the afternoon. And again, the workout is one, for my body to help me with strength. But number two is to clear my mind because there's so many things that are going on throughout our day. I want to be able to clear my mind and to get into another meditative or calm state as well. So any anger that I've pimped up throughout the day, I'll be able to work out, push-ups, pull-ups, sit-ups, whatever it is. I'm working on my body, looking like an absolute king, looking like a G, you know? You come out, you take your shirt off, go into the shower, whatever, or you're at the beach. You feel good about yourself. You're like, see, I'm working on myself. I'm working on my body along with my mind. And then I'll eat to provide my body with some more nutrients to gain some muscle. And then I'll finish up some work for the day. And then after that is dinner with my family. Again, healthy, clean dinner. But like I said before, presence. When I'm with my family, I try and be all the time with my family. And then night off with a beautiful dinner, some conversation, and then go to bed. What I try not to do, and this is really key as well, remember how I said in the morning you prime yourself for that day? In the evening, I try and prime myself for that sleep in the next day. So instead of being on TikTok, scrolling with the blue light, I'll put on my red light glasses, and if I have to use my phone, I'll use my phone a little, then I put it aside. I either read a book or do a prayer, and then I'll go to bed. That's it. Sleeping. And when I do that, I put my phone on the charger so it's charged the next day so I could make videos, make calls, whatever I need to do. But I also put it on the other side of the room. So it's off, it's on sleep mode or airplane mode or whatever. I can't hear any notifications. It's charging. It's across the room. I don't want it next to me at all.
Yeah, and then it's like, if you wake up in the morning, you can't just grab your phone, stand there for 20 minutes. The thing is, with
100%.
all the stuff you're saying too, like reading the Bible, working out, doing the cold plunge, eating well, all that, it's impossible to do one of those things and then feel worse. You never do a workout and then your day gets worse. It always gets better, just feeds into every single part of your life. So going back to kind of what we were talking about earlier with your life goals, I'm wondering, what is your definition of the word ambition?
Interesting. What is my definition of ambition? Interesting. Really good question. I would say my definition for that, what I would have in my mind is, what is something you're extremely passionate about that gets you up every single day to go out no matter what happens? What are you deeply passionate about? Like when you talk, you could feel it inside of yourself to go after it no matter what. That's what I would say about ambition. I feel like you can see ambition in people. You could really feel it. Something that they're so delusionally optimistic about it. They're so confident in it, even when no one else is. Like Conor McGregor, full ambition for UFC when he was just starting out. Full ambition. Going after it, no matter what it took. He was there. Same thing for Ronaldo. Same thing for Messi. Same thing for all these other amazing, great athletes. Their ambition was so strong, so dedicated. They would do whatever it took. Their passion, their interest in it. They would go all out no matter what it took. They didn't care what anyone said. You can't achieve that. You can't do that. That's impossible. Watch me. Watch me. I feel like that is my definition of ambition. Something that I wake up each and every single day. And no matter what happens, I put in the work each and every single day to get better, to achieve that.
For sure, for sure. And that, I'm guessing right now, for you is your event company and your mission to impact 1 billion people, which I really want to touch on before the end of this podcast. So you left everything just to pursue your dreams, and I think that was an awesome move. An awesome move. I I really admire the courage that you had to be able to do that because not many people can drop everything in their life just to go all in on something that they really want. Like, get rid of good in order to pursue great. So, was that a hard decision for you?
Uh, yeah, that was. Oh, that was one of the hardest decisions I've had to make in my life, to be honest with you. I was, you know what, like, how do I'm trying to explain it. So up to this point, I was doing a couple different things. Um, I had so many different ambitions, right, that I wanted to go after. But because I was focusing on three different types of things, I wasn't able to make progress with any of them at all. I was doing work for my family construction business, but at the same time, I was focusing on my clothing brand. At the same time, I was focusing on Red Rock Studios, which was doing content for other car dealerships. And that was amazing, like literally phenomenal. I was doing work
Yeah.
for brands like Ferrari, Maserati, Range Rover, getting them millions of views on their social media. But I it just didn't feel right. It's like, am I going to be doing this in the next 2 years? No. Like, I was working every single day to be able to find someone else to replace me because I just didn't want to do it anymore. Didn't enjoy it. I didn't love it. But I was making a good amount of money for my age at that month. I was basically making like around 10K a month doing this work. And it was like, wow, 10K? I still have friends that are in college. I still have people that are looking for jobs and I'm making 10K a month plus. This is freaking amazing. But I didn't enjoy it. I didn't really love it. And this is where everything went to shit, basically. Excuse my language. I decided to drop that. I decided to drop everything, and I said, I'm going to go all in on this family construction business, right? Content and everything, I'm going to blow it out of the water. I stopped everything. I went to go do that, and then that fell through as well. Something happened there where I basically wasn't able to pursue that. So from having juggling three things to juggling nothing. And I don't like having nothing to do. And the reason why is because I fall into temptations. I fall into nasty habits. Like I just go crazy when I have nothing to do. I need something to do. So I decided to put everything on pause, like everything. And I went all and I spent basically 2 months with one of my mentors working on what Del Monaco Events is, who the ideal client is, what I'm going to be offering, what we're going to be doing. And it's kind of interesting because a lot of the people who I follow who are extremely successful that I look up to, they said that they had those days where they didn't know what they were going to do. They didn't have any money at all. They didn't know how they were going to survive to get to the next day. And that also felt like me. While I do have a well-off family, things got really tight. This was a couple months ago, so it's actually the first time I'm saying this, but I remember there was one weekend where I literally had I think negative $14 in my bank account going into the weekend on Friday. And it was like a holiday weekend, and I'm like, shit, like this is not good. I negative $14, negative $17, whatever it was, in my bank account. And did I make a mistake? Did I leave all of this just for nothing? Like I should have just stayed doing that thing. I was making $10,000 a month, was doing good. Should have stayed with it. But there was a deep calling inside of me, like, no, this is a teaching lesson. This is something that you're gonna have to look back on later in life. And I was able to make it through that weekend. I literally put my card on lock, so no matter what subscriptions, no matter what I tried to pay for, I couldn't do it. So I was just living off of other people, right? I was basically fasting the whole weekend unless someone else bought food, just trying to survive. But that taught me a lesson of perseverance, of you could be at the lowest of lows or the highest of highs, and one thing will remain the same for me is my faith. That I have to stay faithful, that this too shall pass, and I'll learn something from this time. But since that day, since those times, I've just been developing myself and learning, and for these events, and I would say that definitely that is probably one of the best decisions that I've made, is to leave everything behind and to focus on this, because it's something that I'm going to be doing in 10 years, 20 years, 30 years to come. And it's something I felt deep down inside myself that I should really do.
Yeah, that's such an amazing story. It's like the saying, good is the enemy of great. Like, yeah, you might have liked making 10K a month. It might have been good, but it wasn't great. It wasn't your dream. It wasn't like in line with your big goals of impacting people. And I actually had a very similar experience just, well, months ago. So I had a car detailing business, like cleaning and washing cars, that was also making just under 10K a month. But I wasn't passionate about it. And it's like, my goal in life is the same as yours, to impact millions of people and really make an impact on the world, which that business wasn't helping me with. It was actually taking me farther away from my goal. Even though it was making me money, it was costing me in the long term. So I decided to shut down that business and I moved across the country because like I just knew that like I could be doing so much more. Like yeah, it would suck in the short term, and it also kind of does. Like I have a lot less money now. I I definitely have to do a lot more fasting and um just like be so much more conscious of how I'm spending my money, all that stuff. But it felt great, really doing something like this for myself. Even though it might have been scary, I knew that I was making the right decision.
Yeah. Good.
Wait, yeah, you just cut off.
Good.
Okay,
Could hear you now.
yeah, we're good. Anyways, man, that was a great podcast. It was amazing having you on. So, there is one last question that I ask every one of my guests. What do you want to do before you die? Like, what are one or two things that are on your bucket list?
Oh, okay. I do this. I'm set.
Yeah,
Uh, love this. I want to take a spaceship, like a trip to outer
yeah.
space, and come back. Like I would be so happy. I'm not talking about like go to Mars and stay at Mars. Just talking about like take a shuttle up to outer space, see the world, and then come back. That is on my bucket list. 100%. I'm doing. I don't know when or how it's happening. Doing
You
that
can do
100.
that. Like, you're going to be able to sometime in the future.
Yeah, that would be beautiful. That's a childhood dream of mine.
That's awesome, man.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I'm just fascinated with outer space and with all the traveling, like all these things that we don't fully understand yet. I'm so interested in that. That is definitely something that I talked to my dad about. That he might even be getting me for one of my birthdays. We'll see.
Let's hope so. Yeah, well, it's going to happen for sure. There's definitely a way to do it. Like, if somebody has gone up to space before, why can't you?
100%.
Oh, yeah. Well, great to have you on, Zach. So, how can me and the audience best support you moving forward?
Go follow me on Instagram. My name, Zach
Perfect.
Monaco, because I'm going to be dropping more content on health, on mindset, on energy and fitness from the ventures that I'm going to be doing. So any announcements, any events that I have coming up, any offers that I have coming up that provide value to you guys, it's going to be all over there. And the last thing I'd say is I have an event coming up literally this Saturday, which is
Yeah.
going to be in New York. So if you guys are in New York, around the area
Wait,
of New
I'm
York,
super close to New York.
I got to send you a link. It's going to be absolutely insane. I'm going to be dropping tons of value, a lot of different people. Going to have some guest speakers coming as well. It's going to be absolutely insane. I'm going to be diving into even more of what we talked about today on the pod for these 2 days. So I have the link in my bio in my Instagram. It has all the information about what the event is, what you'll be able to receive during the event, and a sign-up link as well. So if you guys are interested in that, go look at that link and then follow me for more knowledge that I'm dropping on a daily basis. Yeah, any other things that I have coming up in the future.
Yeah, for sure. Well, I'm going to link your Instagram and your website down below, as well as your YouTube too. You've got some great YouTube videos. I was listening to some of your old podcasts and your old videos. Lots of value in there.
One last thing also for everyone listening is that one thing that you guys can do for me that would be of tremendous value is providing value to other people. So anything that you learned listening to this or listening to any other podcast, share it with other people. Teach it to other people. When you teach it to someone, you learn it yourself as well. And if I'm able to teach you and you teach someone else, that means that I impacted 2 people. You impacted 1 person. It's a chain reaction and it goes on. If we're able to do that, we can literally not only inspire billions of people around the world, but help people create a better life for themselves. Chain reaction.
Well, you impact more than just two people because it's the ripple effect. Like,
Yeah.
somebody hears this information, and then let's say that makes them more happy today. They have better energy. They talk to five people, then those people feel their energy. They learn something from them, then those people, they have a better day, and then they might even teach something new to someone else, and it just keeps impacting endless people. It's crazy.
100%.
Awesome. Well, great podcast. Thank you, everybody, for listening, and I'll see you later.